morning. I'm going to show you how to paint a cupcake. Originally this is draw a cupcake, but I felt like using paint this morning, so we're going to use paint. It's a little bit faster actually to use the paint than it is to use pencils. I'll start out in pencils so you can see how I draw it, and then we're just going to put it all together. Well, I'm going to put together. You're going to watch. Hopefully you're going to try this by yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the bottom of the cupcake, which is like a loose U, like that. The next thing I'm going to do is draw the sides. So the sides are coming out. They're like this. So you're going to come out like that and out like that. That's most cupcakes. If you have like some fancy cupcake, please show me. The next thing I'm going to do is the shadow. The shadow sits behind it, and it's just kind of like a U shape like that, or a J. It depends on how you look at it. It's like a J. It's like that. Or, you know, flipped over. So the next thing I do is the top of the cupcake, and that's just, you're just completing kind of this shape. So I'm going to go and just make this curve like that. That's that U again. I'm going to let it come out just a little bit over for the little paper wrapper. There's some really pretty paper wrappers out there. Alright, and then we're going to do the top. I'm going to block it in. I'm not really going to do too much on the top. So what I do is I kind of just build it out. I'm going to just kind of give it that shape. It's kind of like a little mountain on top. And this cupcake has a lemon on it because I really like painting lemons. So I'm going to put a lemon on my cupcake. So I've got that. And then, you know, the little piece there. There we go. And maybe I'll draw the segments on there. Can you guys see that? I hope you can see that. I'm doing it pretty light because if I do it too dark, it's hard to come back. And then once I have all this, then I might get more specific with my little mountain of frosting up there. Whoa, there's some dirty fingers. You know, I've been working hard. So, so what I do is I start drawing the swirliness of it. The cool thing about cupcakes is honestly, they're not a lot of work to actually make, and they're really nice for like a birthday present or a card. If you do it like on a canvas, it's a birthday present. If you do it as a card, that's also, you know, that's way cool. Let's give somebody a cupcake as a card. I think it's cool. You can all give me cupcake drawings and paintings as a birthday gift. I'll take it. I think it's a fun and festive way to celebrate a birthday. So I'm just kind of blocking out my little mountain here. Alright, so I have my little mountain. I have this. Now, what I'm going to do actually is draw the stripes in here before I paint them to give myself a guideline, because sometimes I'll be like la 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 and don't realize where I am. So you get into things and you kind of get lost. So what I'm going to do is just give myself the stripes that come down here. I'm not committing myself like crazy. I'm just kind of, you know, going down. And you'll see I don't really hit the bottom. I'm kind of staying away from the bottom and also staying away from the top in case I want to change as I go, which happens. I'm going to kind of let this flare out on this side so the lines are kind of changing direction as they go that way. Alright, so now I have the basic cupcake. This is the basic drawing, and now I'm going to put in the paint. And I like to work darks to light most of the time. Sometimes I mix it up. So I'm going to take my brush now, and I'm going to use these. These are just some nice liquid watercolors. They're really lovely, actually. And the cool thing is, even when they're dried up, like that guy right there, I can still use him. You just get them wet, and I always like that. It's not a lot of waste. Alright, so I'm going to start out with a little violet for my shadow. You know, and it's also good to have like a little piece of paper next to you to just double check, you know, that that's the color you want to go with. And I'm going to start building in my shadows first. Alright, so I put in my violet, and now I'm going to go to my black, Again, test it out, because sometimes I just dip in and then I'm like, ah, and then I'm like, I went way too dark or way too light or too watery. Too watery is actually my biggest, the thing that happens to me the most. Too watery is a problem. You'll see on the frosting you don't actually need a lot, which is why this is such a, to me, this is a fast one that is very, it's nice and it's fast. That's a good thing, especially when you are making them for a lot of people. And of course, if you mess up, it's good to have like a tissue or something around. Sometimes I use my shirt, if nothing else, if I make a mistake and I have to go back. And all I'm doing is really just kind of layering on the black now, just kind of building up the darker areas by putting more on top of it. And then I'm also going to go over here and kind of draw a line with it now, because I've got a good portion of it already done. You can draw your line in a lot of different colors. I actually really like playing with the line colors on these, because you can get some really cool effects. And the nice thing about drawing food is you can't really mess up. Food is not uniform. Nobody makes, I mean, unless it's plastic food. And then because of that, like if I mess up on the frosting or if I mess up on something else, it doesn't really matter, because in reality, they're not perfect. I mean, we take these beautiful photos of our food and all that and send them to our friends. But, it's not perfect. And that's actually why it's really, I like drawing food a lot because of that. You don't have to worry about being absolutely perfect. There's no eyeballs. Unless you're drawing eyeballs on your food. I don't usually draw eyeballs on my food. Not yet. Anyway. Alright, so I blocked out my shadows now, and now what I want to do is the color. So I'm going to start out with orange. So I'm gonna make an orange, apparently. That's pretty easy, red and yellow, right? And I like it already, so that's good. And I'm just gonna put a little bit in. Now, again, it's like a really minimalistic painting because you don't really need a lot because the frosting is white. And anywhere I think that orange should go, I'm gonna put it in. So there's a little bit of orange in that liner also, cupcake liner. A little orange in there. And once you start painting, you start to find funny things happening. Like sometimes I see reflections of like this orange inside of the frosting. So that's actually what I'm going to put in. I'm going to make sure it's faint at first because it, I don't want to mess it up. And then I can always build and come back, which is cool. There's a little bit of orange in there too. All right, so now Let's put a little more. Ooh, I got fingerprints on there. Nice. There we go. I like that better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is the yellow. And there's some really pretty yellows here. I love that bright, super bright. I'm going to put a little bit in that lemon. Now the lemon, when I'm doing it, I just think about the segments of it. I'm not actually, it's so quick to draw paint in lemon actually. So just, you're thinking about it as here, it's almost like you can't see the segments. You can leave a few little highlights. And then the second little piece on there is, just leave yourself some highlights. It'll look great. As long as you have a little bit of shadow in there already, it'll look good. And then the last guy has a lot of that. Alright, so I have in most of my lemon. Now I'm going to use that same yellow for the inside of the cupcake, or the top of the cupcake. So that's going to go over here, and I'm going to let it kind of blend. So I'm kind of pushing it into the other color, like kind of pressing on the surface with this guy and getting it lighter that way, lighter, 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 because the light is obviously coming from here if the shadow's here. And I'm just going to go that way. And kind of makes it like a cohesive something. You know. I'm going to make that a little darker coming in so it sits a little more. Sometimes I think about, like I'm constantly telling drawings, sit down, stop trying to stand out, like different parts that want to stand out. And again, I'm using my yellow again inside the cupcake. So I'm going to use the yellow here. Right at the top. Again, I'm kind of use the water and the brush to kind of drag it, that orange a little bit. Alright, and this is the last part, and I'm gonna, well, next last part. I'm gonna go with my brown now, to get, like, you know, the brown, the browns in. The browns are at the bottom. Again, I can probably put them anywhere, but I'm gonna put them at the bottom. So I'm constantly kind of, with the watercolor, you're constantly putting paint on top of paint. I'm gonna give myself a little more room there so I can get a little more space. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the top. So the top is like that wrinkly part up in here. I'm going to do it with gray, I think, or purple. Let's go lavender. Lavender's my thing lately. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe it's seasonal. Seasonal color. Alright, so I'm almost done. So what we're going to do is just this little area around here. So I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to make the lines of that wave. And I'm going to fill them in pretty dark so you can actually use that lavender. It's got some brown still on the brush, and that works. And I'm going to make these little wavy things. I wonder why cupcake liners are made this way. I'm not totally certain. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Because it is food, and because you're drawing food, it's like one of those lovely things that you can't mess up, you know, because it's already has its own kind of way of being. That's good. Alright, now I'm just going to do the final, very end, which is I'm going to put in just a little bit darker. Again, it's just layering, so I'm going to go back in with my black, and then I'm going to put in a few lines with it, and that's it. And it's so easy, and it's like such a nice gift to get, or to give. I like giving gifts. So I'm just going to go in with my black and finish it up. Any lines I think I would like to put in to just redefine it a little bit more. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.